There seems to be some trend in the fitness community where everybody wears a ton of equipment just to lift weights. When I was working out a week ago, there were 4 of us squatting, and I kid you not, I was the only person squatting without stupid lifting shoes, a belt, and knee sleeves. And honestly, I don't blame these people because the fitness matrix gives off this illusion that you need to wear all this equipment to lift safely. There are a ton of misconceptions online about all this stupid lifting gear, so a beginner lifter and even intermediate and advanced lifters feel like they have to have all this gear just to lift weights. I mean, the typical lifter nowadays has more items in their gym bag than I do in my MMA bag, except I actually need all this equipment to keep myself safe and to keep my partner safe. And I'm actually going to war. As much as these bodybuilders like to convince themselves and convince you that they're going to war and that bodybuilding is super tough, it's not. And when you do call out these bodybuilders about wearing all this stupid equipment, they defend it like you just insulted their mom. I mean, it's pretty crazy how mad these dudes get just because you say all this lifting equipment is unnecessary. Because I'm here to make fitness great again, I'll be going over all this stupid lifting equipment and why you need to stop wearing it. And if you're super smart and you're not wearing all this stupid equipment already, I'll give you reasons why you should continue to do so. Also, if you're looking to build your most athletic and aesthetic physique in 90 days, check out the link in the description to learn more. The first piece of stupid gym equipment that bodybuilders spam are lifting belts. And the first thing about lifting belts is that bodybuilders wear them for the softest exercises. It'd be one thing if bodybuilders were wearing lifting belts for deadlifts or squats, but they typically wear them for stupid leg machines, and you even have people like Alan Eubank who wear them for bicep curls. First of all, these bodybuilders had a brain and used the belt somewhat logically. They would use it for exercises that directly affect the low back. But like I said earlier, bodybuilders love to use the belt for exercises where there's no need to use it. One of the most common arguments for using the belt is it keeps me safe and helps prevent injury. And not gonna lie, I expected this argument from these soft doughboy bodybuilders. But like always, this is a stupid argument. This has to be one of the biggest misconceptions in the bodybuilding community, that the lifting belt helps prevent injury. But if these bodybuilders actually had some sort of critical thinking skills, they would realize there's a lack of evidence that lifting belts prevent injury. And in my opinion, it gives people false confidence to do weight they can't handle. Another argument stupid bodybuilders make is that the belt helps them brace better and lift more weight. And while there's some truth to this claim, it only helps you perform better at the gym and not outside the gym. First of all, the National Strength and Conditioning Association states that overuse of the belt doesn't allow the abs to develop optimally, and that overuse of the belt leads to increased injury risk when you're not wearing it. So essentially, you become so accustomed to wearing the belt that when you don't have it on, you become a fish out of water. Unless you're a weirdo, you won't be wearing the belt outside the gym. So essentially, if you overuse the belt, you'll be more injury prone outside of the gym. So this involves daily activities and sports. So if you train soft in the gym, you'll become soft outside the gym. You can easily lift heavy weights without a stupid belt if you slowly progress up in a systematic manner. I mean, at 165 pounds, I've been able to barbell squat 3 plates without a stupid lifting belt for over 5 reps. You don't need a soy boy lifting belt to get strong, and if anything, it's far more impressive when I see someone lifting heavy weights without a belt. The next soft piece of gym equipment that bodybuilders spam are knee sleeves. Knee sleeves and elbow sleeves are kind of in the same category, but I'll be specifically talking about knee sleeves since they're far more common. And again, the stupid, fragile, soft bodybuilder argument for wearing knee sleeves is that they keep them safe.
Power's in the gear, right? And you'll see all these guys deadlift, squat, and in their captions they'll say a certain amount of weight and they'll say beltless, wrapless, with no straps. And it's like, that's cool and everything, but when you wake up and you're like regretting it, I'm gonna be right here smiling because I always protect myself.
First of all, when soft bodybuilders wear knee sleeves or lifting belts for that matter, it's not for maximal or sub-maximal lifts, it's for soft exercises that are higher reps. So they're kind of contradicting their own claim here. And second, there is a lack of evidence that knee sleeves prevent injury. I mean, bodybuilders like to claim this like it's a scientific fact, when in reality, it's not. And ironically, there are actually some studies that show that knee sleeves or knee braces actually make some people more injury prone. Spamming knee sleeves makes you reliant on external equipment for stability, and just like the lifting belt, it gives you false confidence to do weight you can't handle. It's like if you need soft knee sleeves to do a certain amount of weight, that means you can't do it. The next piece of stupid equipment that bodybuilders spam are Olympic lifting shoes. These aren't as common as knee sleeves or lifting belts, but a lot of bodybuilders like to wear these. Olympic lifting shoes are these big, bulky shoes where the heel is elevated to allow for more ankle mobility. And while this sounds great initially, most bodybuilders use this to hide poor ankle mobility. I mean, what's the point of working on your ankle mobility when you can just slide on these big, bulky, dorky lifting shoes? At the end of the day, these shoes are incredibly unnatural with the elevated heel, as well as them being so big and clunky, that I wouldn't recommend them to an athlete or a typical lifter. If you're looking for a solid pair of gym shoes, I would look for gym shoes that are flat on the bottom, or I would wear barefoot shoes. These shoes are far more natural than big Olympic lifting shoes, and they will force you to work on poor ankle mobility and lead to a healthier ankle joint. And the last piece of equipment these soy boy bodybuilders spam are lifting straps. Lifting straps are used to prevent your grip from giving out, and so bodybuilders can focus more on back engagement. This sounds logical at first, but then you realize they wear lifting straps for soft exercises. I mean, it would be different if bodybuilders were wearing lifting straps for a deadlift because you're using pretty much your entire body and your forearms are so much smaller than everything else. But bodybuilders love to spam lifting straps on soft back machines. Grip strength is an incredibly important function that leads to a stronger wrist joint, yet bodybuilders completely neglect it with their overuse of stupid lifting straps. And the sad part is they use lifting straps for exercises that don't even have much of a grip demand. All this overuse of lifting straps does is widen the gap between your grip strength and the strength of the rest of your body. And like I said earlier, if you have to wear lifting straps for an exercise, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and realize your grip strength sucks. While I'm not a big fan of all this dorky lifting equipment, there are exceptions to the rule where it's appropriate to wear them. The first is if you're doing a maximal or sub-maximal lift. Personally, I still wouldn't recommend all this lifting equipment, but if your goal is to lift as much weight as you possibly can, then you can justify its use. The second exception is pain management, and this applies specifically to knee sleeves and elbow sleeves. Knee sleeves and elbow sleeves can be a useful tool to help you manage your pain so you can still go hard at the gym. But the goal should be to use them temporarily and then stop wearing them. When I was playing soccer, there was one time where I was having some knee pain. So I wore a knee brace for about 1 to 2 weeks, and then once my knee started feeling better, I stopped wearing it. I used the knee brace to manage pain so I could continue to practice hard. But once my knee started feeling better, I stopped wearing it. And that's the same mentality you should have when wearing knee sleeves or elbow sleeves. And the last exception is if you're a power lifter. This isn't really my realm because I think building an aesthetic athletic physique is so much cooler. But if you're a power lifter and your goal is to lift as much weight as possible, it makes sense to wear all this equipment. It's like it's obviously okay for a baseball player to wear all this equipment to hit the ball because their goal is to blast that shit as far as possible. And while wearing all that equipment isn't the best idea if you're an athlete or if you're trying to build a healthier physique, if your goal is to be the best powerlifter in the world, it's going to be a good idea to wear all that equipment. In general, I don't recommend lifting equipment. It's unnecessary and it's expensive. At the end of the day, there's a reason why you don't see top athletes wearing all this lifting equipment. It's because it doesn't help improve athletic performance and it doesn't make athletes less injury prone. You also train the way you play, and you would never be wearing all this stupid gear when you're performing. And I've noticed every time someone gets hurt during a lift, it's when they're wearing all this stupid equipment and lifting weight their body can't handle. Wearing all this dorky equipment makes you reliant on external equipment to lift heavy, and as I mentioned earlier, you become a fish out of water when you're not wearing it. If your goal is to build an aesthetic athletic physique, you shouldn't be wearing it. And of course, when you're wearing all this lifting equipment, you look like a fragile soy boy. And now you know why all this stupid lifting equipment freaking sucks. Thanks for watching this video. Please like this video if you enjoyed and subscribe for more content like this.